Dr. Neki Ziako, FCIS, has communicated a decision not to seek re-election. As at 30 June 2020, duly sponsored applications for election into council have been received from Mr. Oyedele Tukunde, FCIS, Mr. Ebere Okonkwo, FCIS, Mr. Augustine Achubu, FCIS, Mr. Andy Amos, FCIS, and Mrs. Marilyn Eze, FCIS. The elections were conducted electronically, as you are all aware, and the result will be announced by the Electoral Committee. So at this junction, I now call on the Vice Chairman of the Nominations and Governance Committee, Mr. Seson Shobowale, to present the results of the election to the Council. Mr. Seson Shobowale, please activate your device on mute so that you can make the presentation to the members of the Institute.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Before I present the results, let me just give some background information. There was a following receipt of nomination from eligible members. The Electoral Committee vetted all the nominations to ensure that they're in accordance with the ICSAN Act and extant regulations. 9 candidates were screened as being eligible to contest for the election. And the 9 candidates are Mr. Tony Okoma, FCIS, Mrs. Fumi Ekunda, FCIS, Mrs. Ronke Opajobi, FCIS, Mrs. Uto Pana, FCIS, Mr. Dele Togunde, FCIS, Mr. Anedi Amos, FCIS, Mr. Ebere Okonkwo, FCIS, Mr. Augustine Achugo, FCIS, and Mrs. Marilyn Eze, FCIS. The election was done electronically, and the total number of eligible members eligible to participate in the election was determined to be 492, and the critical qualification requirement is membership and payment of dues up to date. Accreditation link was sent to these 492 members, and a total of 226 members completed their accreditation. When it came to the voting itself, a total number of 193 votes were cast. Now to the results. At the end of polling of the election, the following votes were cast for each of the candidates. Mr. Achugo Augustine, 17 votes. Okonkwo Ebere, 51 votes. Amos Anedi, 73 votes. Eze Marilyn, 93 votes. Togunde Solomon, 110 votes. Okoma Anthony, 115 votes. Okpajobi Oyeronke, 128 votes. Uto Upana, 130 votes. And Ekundayo Fumilayo, 145 votes. It is now my one minute. It is now my pleasure. I just want to put the summary of the results on the screen. It is now my pleasure to announce that the following members, Ekundayo Fumilayo, Ukwana Uto, Okpajobi Oyeronke, Okoma Anthony, and Togunde Thomas, haven't scored the highest number of votes for the 5 vacancies on the council, I hereby declare duly elected. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Session Shubwale, for the presentation. The results of your decision have been announced. Based on that, ladies and gentlemen, the following 5 persons with the highest votes have been duly elected to the council, and I congratulate them. They are Mrs. Fumi Ekundayo, Mrs. Uto Ubana, Mrs. Runke Okwajobi, Mr. Tony Okoma, and Mr. Oyezile Togunde. I hereby declare that the above members are duly elected to the council of the institute. I also thank the other contestants for their interest in serving the institute and wish them the best of luck next time. Please note that nobody should consider himself or herself to have lost the election. What we are having is that we have just 5 vacancies as at now. So please try as much as possible to continue to do this to the institute. It gladdens my heart that nobody scores just 1 vote. Even at the national election, you will observe that a whole political party, you will score 1 vote. Here, we have votes that are higher than what some political parties will get. So you've made very good impression of yourself, and the mere fact that you have been able to attract the attention of this large number of members are supporting you. Should give an encouragement that your services are needed at one point or the other. Before the next election, please try to participate actively, reach out to people so that they can also know you better, and then they will continue to support you. So I wish all of us the best. I congratulate all of us, those who have been elected and those who will be elected by the grace of God by the time they contest again. So that brings to an end that particular item. We now move to the 3rd item on the agenda, which is to appoint a new auditor to replace the retiring for Taiwo and Co. Chartered Accountants. Notice is hereby given that the new auditor to be appointed is Oyetabe and Co. But before we get to that, I just want to draw your attention to one fact. The remaining items on the agenda, starting from item 3 to 5, are to be done by poll. Therefore, voting for resolution in each agenda item will be done electronically using the poll device. So by the time we read out each item, it will be projected on the screen. You are required to vote electronically. You see yes or no, and then the results will be compiled and announced also electronically. You can see it, so it's a transparently done. So the first item to be voted on is appointment of a new audit firm. I hereby move a motion that the firm of Oyetabe, John and Co. be and is hereby appointed as the new external auditor of the institute. Will the member second the motion? Any of the council member can also second. So if the motion is seconded by the vice president, I now put the motion to vote. You have 20 seconds to vote using the polling, the Zoom poll facility. Please cast your vote now. You will see it on the screen, so cast your vote and submit so that it can be collated. Members, please cast your vote. Check your phone, check your laptop. You will see it on the screen displayed. So the countdown continues. 10 seconds left. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I hope we have all voted. So, can we have the result? So, the result has been displayed, and you can see 97% voted yes for the appointment of the new audit firm, that is Oyetade, John and Co, and 3% voted no. Following the result of the voting as projected, I hereby declare that the resolution to appoint Oyetade, John and Co as the new external auditor has been passed by majority. We now move to the next item of the agenda, which is to authorize the council to fix the remuneration of the auditors. I hereby propose that the council be and is hereby authorized to fix the remuneration of the external auditors. A seconder, please, a member here or joining us virtually, any member or council member can also second. It's seconded by the honorary treasurer. I now put the motion to a vote. You have 20 seconds to vote using the Zoom facility. Please cast your vote now and submit. When you click, please also submit. So the countdown again, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I hope we have all voted. So the result is ready now and is projected, so you can see it. 98% voted yes and 2% no. Following the results of the voting as projected, as you can see, I hereby declare that the resolution to authorize the council to fix the remuneration of the external auditor has been passed by majority. We now go to the last item of the agenda, to consider the change of name from the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria to Chartered Governance Institute of Nigeria. The reasons for the change are provided in my address on pages 13 to 21, which I earlier read out, of the 2019 annual report already sent to members. We have earlier listened to, I hereby propose that the name of the institute be changed from the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria to the Chartered Governance Institute of Nigeria. Will the member second the motion? Or any member here second the motion? Okay, seconded by the Vice President. I now put the motion to vote. You have 20 seconds to vote using the Zoom poll facility. Please cast your vote now. So we can start the countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So the result, so we now have the result as projected. 72% voted yes for the change of name, while 28 voted no. Following the results of the voting as announced or projected on the screen, I hereby declare that the resolution to change the name of the institute has been passed by majority. On this note, I would like to give our revered past president the opportunity to address the members. I will start with Prince J.A.A. Adebayo, who was the president of the institute between 1974 and 1976. As we all know, Baba is 93 now. If I think that we are holding this AGM physically, that is, we allow members to come to the venue here. Baba will be one of the first persons to arrive. And as I said at the last conference, Baba has made it a duty annually to participate in all our programs. And I pray that the Almighty God will continue to extend his life and grant him good health, so that we can benefit more from his wealth of experience. So I now leave the floor to Minister Adebayo to address the members. Hello, sir.
Okay, on mute. Okay, we are on mute. But again.
The Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, Annual General Meeting 2020, held at the corporate headquarters, Elephant Cement House, Asibifi, Alausa, Ikeja, on Thursday, 9th July 2020 at 11 a.m. Brief remarks by the chairman of the body of past presidents and doyen of ICSAN, Prince J.A. Adebayo, FCIS. I bid you very hearty welcome to our annual general meeting this year, and trust that under God, in spite of the prevailing circumstances, the vicious pandemic and the rise, otherwise codenamed COVID-19, we shall have a very successful AGM. This leads me to the topic of my short address: change. Change comes or manifests itself in many forms. Some pleasant, others not so pleasant. Some welcome, others not so welcome. Some bearable, and others not so bearable. To the brave, in whatever form it manifests itself, we have a duty, which is that when we don't get what we like, we should try to like what we get in the circumstances. The Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, has over the years been in the forefront of corporate governance and administration. It has, through its establishment, commission, CAC, Companies and Allied Matters Act, other legal general practices, been accepted as the primus inter pares among organizations permitted to lead in the business of corporate governance in Nigeria. But tempora mutantoro, globally, others that have been coming a distant second or third after ICSAN have come to appreciate the need to place greater weight or emphasis on corporate governance, and correspondingly less and less on administration. Per se, there is now a fundamental movement, including the change of name and the modus operandi, and our modus operandi. This is the situation that the ICSAN Council in Nigeria, under our indefatigable president and chairman of council, Mr. Bode Ayoku, has brought before the 2020 annual general meeting. Rightly, that unless we proactively, through a number of steps, to go with the wind, we will, God forbid, find ourselves at some positions in soccer, if not writing, left out. To date, we have done reasonably well, very well, but appear to have placed more emphasis on administration, and in consequence, less acceptance as pioneer and leader, namely corporate governance. Our leadership is being called to question. To drive home the point, there's been the need for a change of name to emphasize the importance and urgency of the matter in order to remain relevant. This is the clarion call our council has brought to us at this year's annual general meeting. This is one of the reasons the council set out in some of the terms of reference, and the reasons it established the body of past presidents, BOPP, on 17th March 2020. We are being called upon to seize the bull by the horns, including changing our name to underscore the inevitability of the matter. Fortunately, a number of our leading past presidents are still serving members and must be resumed to have lent their very heavy weight to this urgent call. I therefore call on the rest of us to rally around, make no further delay in giving maximum support to our governing council, committees, read the name of change, the name change, and that all should be set up immediately. An approach made to our members in the National Assembly, both Senate and the House. God bless Nigeria. JAA Adeba, FCIS, Doyen of ICSAN, and Chairman of the body of past president of ICAN, of ICSAN.
Thank you, sir, for the excellent presentation. We acknowledge you and thank you for your support. Just to re-emphasize.
When are you going to Providence?
Our Papa, Prince Adebayo, is the chairman of the body of past presidents. And you listen to his voice now. I think some of us will assume that Papa is under 50. As you continue to support us, God will continue to extend your days in health and in good health. And also, Papa, let me just extend the greetings of your brother to you, and that is my father, because my father is also your age. And to the glory of God, both of you are in good health, and that is basically the blessing of God. The more you do for God, the more He blesses the person. So we thank you for your support. We thank you for also explaining the rationale behind the need for us to move very fast. And Papa has likened it to a soccer tournament. It's either right in or left out. So it is now good that we have decided to take the initiative to be proactive and also to move in line with the current development. And we count on the support of all our members, Lagos, Abuja, as we be approaching the National Assembly. And the good thing is that the amendment we are making is a focus amendment, so we'll try our best in support of all members.
Returned, and it was adjourned.
Action on this. I will now, and Papa also has reminded us the role we play in this. A member of the institute actually pioneered the setting up of the corporate affairs commission that we are all enjoying today, and that shows our leadership. And now it's time for us to scale up our abilities and also to portray ourselves. Nobody will blow our trumpet for us. we must be the ambassador of the institute, we must reflect that in whatever we do, and we must show that we are corporate governance practitioners. I will now call on the another past president, our revered Papa Ayo Oshu.
So that he make it participate in. I know they're really sort of.
Yes.
Right, our Papa Ayo should be pleased.
We're connecting here. We're connecting here, me.
Okay, sir.
To be the audio.
Hello.
And around.
Okay.
I hope is he in Nigeria?
You can connect anywhere in the world.
No, I know. They said that Mutilosilian.
Just to announce also, we have on the call our past president, Mr. Reverend Akim Ogunilo, and I'm also proud to say that he was my lecturer in the university in 1989. That is 31 years ago. Our revered past president, thank you for joining this AGM. And also, we have our senior advocate of Nigeria, the friend of the house, a crossbreed, Mr. Teslim Busari, also joining the call. So we thank you, sir. And I must introduce my predecessor in office, our gentle past president, past president. Mr. Samuel Kolawole, also joining us from Ibadan. So, welcome, sir. Any other past president on the call? Please look up for other past. Is Papa should be ready now? Okay, sir. Papa should be. Please go ahead. Are you unmuting so that I can? Papa, should you please go ahead? Papa, should you can you unmute? Okay. So, if we are not able to get our Papa Oshodi, I think maybe due to technical issues. Please just hold on. Let me just also look at the chat so that I can see if we have points to raise. The chat box is all about congratulating the newly elected members, also appreciating the new name, Chartered Governance Institute of Nigeria. Okay. Thank you. Thanking the institute. Okay. I think also appreciating the change of name. Congratulations, Baba Adebayo. We pray that the Almighty God will continue to spare your life. Amen. I say amen to that. And the reason why that is important is that if Papa at the age of 93 is still showing sufficient interest in the affairs of the institute and attending the program, it's a challenge to all of us. So I feel that we should all, as much as possible, contribute our quota. The more we do for God, the better for us. And also we have our very respected elder, Elder Masi Okoye, who is a member of the Finance and General Purpose Committee, very active member despite his age. We congratulate them and salute them for joining this meeting. So from the chat box, congratulations to the candidates. New something. If I missed out any past president, please, we are checking. We must acknowledge you because it's a sacrifice for you to be here. And all the council members also joining, all the council members this particular call, and they are watching us live. So on that note, fellow members, we have now dealt with all the formal business of this meeting. I would like to thank you on behalf of the Governing Council for participating in this meeting, for your cooperation, and for showing so much interest in the affairs of the Institute. Once again, I want to make one passionate appeal, and it is not because of the financial benefit to the Institute. Please, let us pay our subscription fee promptly. Fortunately, the amount is very, very reasonable. I belong to a professional institute in Nigeria. What I pay there is more than what I pay at the institute now for 5 years. At least fellows, they pay annual dues of 15,000. The other institute I belong to, the 15,000 times 5 is not up to what I pay for 1 year. Yeah. So it is not because of that I'm saying this. It's because of the insurance scheme that the institute has put in place free of charge. Immediately you pay your subscription of 7,500 for graduate, 10,000 for associate, 15,000 for fellows. You are automatically entitled to this insurance scheme of 250,000 naira. Nobody prays for debt, but we also know that debt is inevitable. And unfortunately, nobody knows the time. And that is why we should endeavor to pay. And the reason why we are saying this is that we have discovered painfully, as I stated in my address, painfully, that some of our colleagues who died, by the time we check the records, they did not make they have not made their financial contribution as at the time of death. And because of that, we cannot make this deal. And it is very painful. So please let us try as much as possible. If you put it on your to-do list 1st of January, you pay your subscription to not only to this institute, to all the institutes you belong to, because they also have some benefits there, so that you can activate it. Nobody prays for it, but let's just do that. Secondly, please, the benefits will be paid when we know your beneficiaries. So immediately you pay, communicate to the secretariat evidence of payment and send the list of beneficiaries that you want the money to be paid for, in case it becomes necessary. Please send it to the secretariat, send it through the email address so that it can be kept on the record, and if there is need for such, the payment will be easily made. I appeal to you passionately. It doesn't cost you anything. Immediately you pay your subscription, which is statutory responsibility. You have a benefit, claim the benefit, send your list of beneficiaries so that this can be taken up. So I will now call on the chairman of our visitation and activation committee, Ms. Ronke Opajobi, who has been working tirelessly since the inauguration of this new committee, which is to reduce the number of our government members and also visitor members, to address the whole house because it's an opportunity. So, Mrs. Ronke or Ms. Ronke Opajobi, you have the floor. Address the members.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Good afternoon, distinguished members and council. My name is Oyeronke Okwajobi. I'm the chairman of the Visitation and Activation Committee. The president had earlier mentioned what's our role, what is expected of the committee. It's a newly established committee. And at every event, we try to introduce ourselves to members and to tell you what we are supposed to do and to appeal to you. Because from what we have discovered as a committee, we realize that every member of the institute is supposed to be a member of the committee, but that would be too large. So we have a committee of the whole house. And what we are appealing to you to do on the behalf of the institute is to reach out to any member that you have around you who has not been very active. We don't want to call them dormant, because we know that dry bones can live again. So please reach out to any inactive member around you and encourage them to come back. Come back home. That's the way I used to say it, because we are a family, and working together, we can move this institute forward and project her better than as it is today. Also, we discovered in the course of our reaching out that many members have corporate email addresses with the institute, and by the time you change jobs, it becomes difficult to reach you. Even if you want to be active, you don't get any information from the institute anymore, and you feel as if the institute has abandoned you. So we appeal to members, if you have registered your corporate email address with the institute, we appeal that you please add a personal email address to it, so that at every point in time you can get information from the institute. In the annual report, we have list of the committee members. Please, if you are following up on somebody and you want the committee to come in, or you want the secretariat to come in, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Thank you very much. We thank you for your participation at the elections and at today's AGM. We look forward to seeing you again at the next event of the Institute. Thank you very much. Thank you,
Okay,
Mr. President.
thank you, Madam, for the information. Please, I will encourage you to also make your phone number available to them, so that they can reach out to you if it becomes necessary. And in each chapter, the licensing officer, because all the chapter chairs are members of this committee. So we appeal to all the chapter chairs to also make their contact details available to their members. If you have any issue, if you feel that this issue has offended you, or any member has offended you, and that's why you decide to stay with, please reach out to the chairperson of the visitation committee. She will sort it out, and you can also reach out to your chapter chair so that we'll get this thing done as soon as possible. It is my expectation that all of us belong to one WhatsApp platform or the other of the institute, and that is the medium we use to disseminate information generously, freely, and promptly to all our members. Please assist us to update your details. Make sure you belong to a platform, because that platform is not only to share information about this, it's also to empower you professionally about current developments in your profession, so that you can get information. And also, it's a platform for problem solving. If you have any professional challenge, put it on the platform. And I've seen encouraging comments on the platform to say, I have this challenge, how do I do it? I want to register this, or I have a client who wants this information. It is a networking platform. So don't leave yourself out of it, and also participate actively. So on that note, I wish us the best of luck. Despite COVID-19, we will continue to move forward, and I'm very sure that we will end this year well and in good health. We encourage all of us also to keep safe, observe all the safety protocols, so that we will celebrate this year on the remarkable note. And as I stated in my address, the corporate capacity building committee of the institute will be organizing a capacity training or capacity building program anytime from now on how you can carry out corporate governance audit and board evaluation that the Code of Corporate Governance 2018 has just introduced. It is a capacity building program. It's a new area where our members will get jobs if they are well prepared for it. Some firms have started using trial and error. What we want to do for our members is not for them to start using trial and error. It's for them to be well prepared for the job in order to know how to carry out this assignment. That's why I stated in the address regarding the partnership with India that has been doing sectoral audits for years. And we've been able to establish this relationship, and the capacity building committee will put that program in place to assist not only our members in public practice, but also our members in corporate practice. That is, if you are a company secretary, the code allows you to do your corporate governance audit and board evaluation for 2 years, and then you get in an external facilitator. So for you to do it internally, you need to be trained. So this capacity building program is an opportunity for you as an in-house charter secretary, or as an external, as a fellow charter secretary, or as in any capacity for you to know how to do it, even as an in-house practitioner or an external service provider. So register for the program, participate in the program, because it's an opportunity for you to now add value to yourself and also get more jobs, because corporate governance jobs are opening up now. New jobs are being given to any firm that is willing and is ready to take on this new assignment. Corporate governance audit and board evaluation. Take advantage of it. Do not allow other professionals to take advantage of it. And that is why I encourage all of you to participate when the program is on, so that you can take advantage of it. So it's on that note, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished members of the Institute, that I now declare the meeting closed. Let us rise for the national anthem.